Okay, so this is stage 1 in the success path. And in the progressive stages of self-healing from trauma, it's overwhelming discomfort. In this stage, you may find yourself criticizing yourself for making mistakes. You're doubting your ability to make lasting change and feel constantly triggered, and you're reacting to everything as if you're in danger. So in this stage, you're doing things consistently that hurt you. So if we're talking about, I'm going to move myself over here. If we're talking about self-sabotage behavior, we're talking about overeating, or we're talking about blowing up and losing it while you're talking with something about that you later think about and go, I think I overreacted. Anger can show up here, extreme fear, extreme anxiety. In this stage, maybe you're not aware that it's a trauma response, but you feel broken and discouraged and you feel overwhelmed. This is the stage of overwhelming discomfort. You may or may not at this point in time understand that there is a diagnosis, but there might be something. You might think you're just fine and have reactions that are happening out of the blue that you don't get, but you know that you're unhappy and things are happening in your body that don't feel good. So the milestones in this stage, and that you're already here in Trauma Free Nation and ready to do your healing, means that you've met these milestones. So congratulations, you're already past stage 1. Those milestones are: you're ready to stop feeling scared of everything, or overwhelmed by everything, or angry by everything. You recognize that your self-doubt and self-criticism come from somewhere. Maybe you're recognizing that it's coming from unresolved trauma by the time you're here, and you want to change the patterns that were handed down to you from your abusive parents, and you're ready to leave a different legacy, perhaps to your own children, than the one that you were given. The action steps on this stage in the chart are action steps that you're already taking. You can commit to putting yourself and your healing first, and you don't have to join the Ready for Self-Healing Complex PTSD Facebook group because you're already here. And this is part of your membership, but it's the Foundations of Self-Healing course that these milestones will be met. When you take the foundations, you'll meet the milestones using the foundations. So what are the foundations? First one is giving yourself permission to heal. So if you're in the very beginning, you might find that you start doing the healing work and then you stop doing the healing work. You forget about it, or maybe you keep it low on the priorities list. You don't come back to the community. You don't keep learning. And it could be guilt about focusing on yourself, or feeling like you're selfish, or maybe why should you have to even focus on this kind of a healing work? So you put yourself on the back burner. Or maybe there are other people who are discouraging you from your healing. If that's the case, then meeting the milestones to help you get past this stage of healing will be assisted when you use the Permanent Permission to Self-Heal online course. That's the first week in the Foundations class. So watch that video, do the homework. The next week is Overwhelm Eliminator. So when we have childhood trauma, we often get overwhelmed by the sensation in our body. And if we're overwhelmed by the things that are happening inside of us, it doesn't take very much around us to make us feel completely overwhelmed. So the prospect of healing can be overwhelming by itself. So if you're experiencing that, then when you start to feel overwhelmed and you want to figure out what's bugging you exactly and how to feel better, faster, this is where you'll study. You'll focus on your difficulty with self-care. This will help with that. Focusing on becoming overwhelmed and stressed frequently, this part of the course will do that. And if you're having a hard time asking for help, this is where you'll do that study to help you with that part of the milestones. Next part, trauma survivors often have trouble trusting our body. because the signals that come to us from inside, or we overreact. So we learn not to trust our anger. We learn not to trust the feelings that we have when we overreact to people and things. That has to be overcome. We have to learn how to trust our body and know what to trust in our body and what's harder to trust, what we shouldn't trust in our body, because it's a trauma reaction. So if you struggle with shutting your feelings down, feeling afraid to feel certain feelings, or feeling disconnected from your body, this will be where you look in the Foundations course to help you with that part of the milestones. Finally, people who've had childhood trauma often struggle with guilt, shame, fear, and self-criticism. To heal your trauma, you have to develop a sense of compassion toward yourself. So this foundation course will help you to do that. It'll help you to meet those milestones. So this is stage 1. This is what we need to do to help you get past that part, stage 1 in the healing process, and move on to stage 2.